Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Higher Expertise. And today we have Flor, Israel, Javier, and Austin. Guys, how does it feel to be back in the office again?
It was great. It's
Feels
great.
I
good.
mean,
A
yeah,
lot of
you see
memories.
us like this where we're in the office. It's just that the studio is not ready yet, and we're improvising here. I'm in one room, Javier's in the other, Austin's in the other, Israel's in the other, Flor's in the other. So, can we say that we're still working remotely?
Yes,
We can
Does
say
it
that
still count?
we're
we're distant.
quarantining ourselves. Yeah.
Oh,
We're
Floor
quarantining.
definitely is. Floor definitely is.
We're
Remote.
practicing social distancing.
That's right.
Otherwise, we should be wearing masks.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
True,
right.
true. Okay, so this week there are a lot of things going on. Sony came out with PlayStation 5. Apple came out with a lot of things, and we're gonna be talking about Apple and the Apple event. So let's jump right into it, guys. Um,
Yeah, I
one
do.
thing
I
that
do have some questions. I'm sorry, Nelson, that I'm interrupting, but I've heard you guys talking a lot about Apple, a lot about TikTok. I'm not a news guy, so I don't really watch too many news. What's going on with all these Apple, TikTok, Epic Games? I know we have that discussion about that one, but what's going on with Apple now? And I did see the iOS 14. I haven't downloaded it yet. I thought I had it automatically, but it didn't happen. So what's up with that?
There, there's a number of things that is happening, right? TikTok is or is getting banned from the U.S. So the big news about TikTok is that they're getting banned from the U.S. And I think sometime in the near future they're going to be banning the application itself from Apple Store and Google Play Store and things like that. So users are going to have a limited amount of time before they can go out there and download that TikTok application.
I see. So
I think
TikTok users here. Anybody?
Guilty
Austin,
of downloading
Austin,
it. I believe it's being removed from the App Store on Sunday, this
right,
Sunday.
right,
So
right.
whatever day this podcast comes out, just know you have a limited time to jump on the bandwagon.
so
I
And
see.
TikTok is getting banned. It's after Sunday. TikTok, not TikTok. TikTok is no more on the App Store.
and I think we should just say briefly what TikTok does, right? This is an application where users dance,
Yeah,
and
they
they
They do.
dance to
improvise, they do
music.
creative, and
I
then they
I
yeah.
gotta I gotta I gotta improvise.
Interesting. Well, I
That's
might download
Well,
it and
now we
then
know
just
who has
follow up.
TikTok
No,
here.
I don't have TikTok, but I think because of the I don't know if the ban helps TikTok or makes it worse, but I do think that this banning will allow users to download the application. I may download it just to say that I have it, but I'm not going to create an account. But the fact that it's being downloaded and it's being banned, well, will probably make people download it. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
right.
All right.
And speaking of TikTok getting banned, Epic Games, more specifically, Fortnite is getting banned, but Apple is kind of hot lately, and they came up with iOS 14 with the release like overnight, and developers are not happy about that. And
Oh, they're not.
so we're gonna be talking about that in a second. But before that, I noticed that no iPhone this year. I got a question. Do you guys think that they're gonna hold it for next year? You think there's gonna be another announcement before the year is over? There's gonna be another event. What's your thought on that? What's your thought? And why it didn't come out?
I mean, I think honestly, you can attribute most of the lack of new technology from Apple from the pandemic. In 2017, the iPhone X was being released, and due to production shortages, there was a lot less iPhones being available. Now, this is only rumored, but I was reading that there's going to be about 20 million less iPhones being produced this year, and that's only because Apple is not sure if they can actually fulfill those orders. Now, the demand, on the other hand, for iPhones will always be high because it's a very popular product. But I do think, Nelson, that we will see an iPhone release next year. It's been a tough year for Apple getting out new products.
I think it could be like a strategy now. Hearing you guys, maybe I mean they know with all that's been going on, people are saving their money for because there is a lot of unknowns still, right? We don't know how long this is gonna take, and I don't know if they maybe it's a strategy not to release it because they know not as many
Great.
people are probably gonna spend the money on that when there are more. It's a different situation these days.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it goes well to the demand, right? So right now, even if you wanted to buy an iPhone, you you're going to be concerned with your financials. So the iPhone and all the Apple products tend to be a very pricey ecosphere, right? So what they're doing is they're creating a higher demand by not releasing a device this year. Next year they create higher demand. People have waited 2 years to upgrade their phone, so have a higher demand, therefore get more people to upgrade.
probably.
You
Is
yeah.
that something that you think they're gonna start doing from now on? If they see that it works, or do you think that they're better off just the way that they were, just releasing one every year?
I
Who
mean,
knows? But yeah, go ahead, Austin.
there's people from both camps. No one's going to be happy. Not everyone will be happy at the end of the day, and Apple knows
Right.
that. People complain in the past that every year Apple is releasing the same product effectively with a new camera, and we know that's not true. But
It
they do
looks
have a
like it.
point. They do have a point. Sometimes Apple does slow down in terms of what they're releasing. The iPhone seems to have not innovated very much in the past couple of releases. So this could mean that there's a big leap coming. And I completely agree with Israel. I think that the fact that there's a year off, it could build a lot of demand and a lot of hype just because the unknown, what is the next iPhone going to be like?
The anticipation.
Hmm.
The anticipation, but if even iOS 14, right? If we talk a little bit about iOS 14 now, there is not a lot of new features, right? The cameras have always been the big thing for iPhone. Every iPhone upgrade is usually higher, more megapixels, better camera, that kind of stuff, a little bit more memory, cloud. But in my opinion, they really need to do something for people who consume a lot of pictures, right? They take a lot of pictures. What's happening to the iCloud? Even on the iCloud, there's not a lot of major changes, so they have lacked in innovation. Giving them 2 years as a runway for next year uh, allows them to bring up that innovation.
Yeah.
I think that
Well,
that there
looking,
should be that they should come out with new iOS every other year rather than every year, and that way it gives them space, gives them room to come out with newer innovations.
I think I agree with that. I think a year is it's pro- in a year one of these phones, an iPhone, is still a good phone.
Yeah,
In my
absolutely.
opinion, I don't think I need to change a phone every year. Especially these days. Maybe back in the days, yeah, after a year, the battery would wear down and things like that. But these phones are different these days. The batteries are great. They
Or you
last
can
a long
replace the
time.
battery for $50 if that's the
Correct. Yeah,
case.
just
Mm.
tiny things, and then it gives them more time to come out with greater features, and then they can back up that high price that usually comes with a new release.
but
Yeah,
but
with
the
all these
feature
releases, I get the idea that Apple is disposable, and I don't like that idea. I mean, or it's super expensive to keep up with all the releases, which yeah, it's not for everybody for sure.
Keeping up with the Jones. No, because it's an expensive phone. I totally agree, but also on the hardware side, there are no new features besides this, right?
Right. The only
There's
thing that
no
changes is the camera.
the camera, there's no fingerprint, so there's a limit there. Even if they innovate and they do all their things, this device will have a limited innovation period, because there's so many things that you can add only to here, right? You got the three cameras, maybe they put four. There's no fingerprint, there's a limited amount of space. They've made the screen completely usable. Um, so there's going to be a limited amount of stuff. Maybe they put another screen back here. The battery can get better, but there is a limit. There is a limit to what they can do on the hardware side. Internally, they may add more memory. They may use more features in terms of the iOS, but I think the devices will start to get limited.
Austin, did you see any significant changes with iOS? Any feature that you particularly like? Any new feature that caught your eye?
I mean, right away I saw they added a translate application, which, as we all know, Google has had for a while now, but it seems like Apple has produced their own version. The widgets are a pretty cool feature. It groups your apps by usage. So for people that have a ton of apps, it's going to make life a lot easier for you to find them quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What about, I heard that when people are calling you, it's not going to take over your screen anymore. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
And when when you're watching a video, you can also multitask and watch a video at the same time. I heard of that.
Right, right.
Like it gives you like a tiny screen with a video while you're doing something else.
It's called picture in picture, right? So they have the picture in pictures for all the apps, not just for the calling and some of the others, but they have the picture in picture, and I think that's a nice feature that was,
I don't want them to bring up the competitor, but for example, my girlfriend, she has a Samsung, and I've noticed that while using the map, when I use Google Maps, I have to just look at the map, or if I want to look at something else, I have to, bring the other screen, and I lost the map. On the Samsungs, on the other side, they can see still the map on a little screen while they're watching something else. So
that's picture in picture.
That's what you're talking about? Oh, okay. Yes. So that's coming to iPhone now?
Yeah, yes. That's on iOS 14.
Okay. I'm liking it already. So I heard someone said, I think a new iPhone might not come out because Apple seems to be taking care or focusing more on their services lately.
Yeah, that's something that we're gonna be talking about, and you know what? Let's just talk about that right now. One of the things that they came out is the Apple One packages, where you see they put together bundles of Apple Music, Apple TV, Apple Plus. They have the cloud. They have a couple of fitness featured. They came out with. I saw that they came out with Fitness Plus. I think it is the new services they have. They're coming out with these services, and a lot of people are kind of they're very skeptical about that, in the sense of, well, if they're going to come out with services, I might as well come out with bring my own device and user services. So are they becoming a service company, or how do you see, what direction are you see them taking from here on out?
I will be lost on that one because I haven't heard of those services. What do you think?
Yeah, like Apple Fitness, Apple Plus for TV shows, Apple Music. So all the services that are coming out to the Apple devices, the Apple ecosystem. Apple has always been a very innovative company, and they realize that for them to be in the long-term game, hardware is only a portion of that game. You have to have service. It's a money maker thing for them, right? It's a money making thing for them. They're gonna want to make recurring revenues. They're going to provide more services. They're going to bundle up. They don't offer promotions, but they do know the bundling up makes sense, right? You got Apple Music, you got Apple Fitness, you got the watch that you want to incorporate. How do you get people to buy an Apple Watch if you have one of these? Is you give them services. Now I got fitness. Now you start integrating into different things like Peloton and things like that. So the services just becomes an extension of who Apple is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, and it makes me wonder. Maybe they're starting to realize that the innovations on these devices are coming slower and slower.
Because
So go
yeah,
ahead.
because there's only so much you can do
There's
to
only
the
so much they
watch.
can do. That's right.
Yeah,
So
only to
they're
just to
starting to
the
realize. Oh, hold on. I mean, we are actually reaching a point here where we are not coming up with so many new features. We, getting running out of ideas or something like that. Let's find something else to, start diversifying our brand
Yeah,
or
the new markets, and it goes back to your point, Javier, that you made earlier. The phones the hardware is lasting longer and longer, and people are content keeping their older devices. And Apple is smart, and they realize that they can tap into the fitness market, which has been like Peloton that Israel mentioned,
yeah.
or the virtual
the streaming.
storage like Dropbox.
Hmm.
Apple wants to compete with those because they know that they're already dominating the hardware market. So how do they get more consumption? And that's through software and services.
Absolutely,
Makes sense.
absolutely. There will only be a limited amount of innovation that you can do with hardware, regardless of what you think of, right? There's only so much that you can innovate with a phone. There's only so much that you can innovate with a watch. It's great that they can give you your blood oxygen levels now, but some people may not need that. But they do want the whole notion of having that watch and having a phone and having fitness. That whole notion of the fitness app on the watch is great.
But Apple has always been recognized for leading, right? In the early '80s, they came out with Lisa, the Macintosh, Pixar. Pixar was more Steve Jobs, but whatever. Apple. Then they
Right.
came out with the iPod, iTunes, that was very revolutionary, iPad, and the iPhone, and the iWatch, the Apple Watch. I'm sorry. They always been leading and revolutionizing
Siri.
the
Well, I
business.
mean,
Siri. Now, is this
But
the
Siri,
beginning of Apple kind of following instead of leading, or
no,
what?
Apple has, sometimes like the Siri, Alexa, I would argue that Alexa is better, than Siri,
but
and
what came out first?
No, there's no
Alexa.
question. There's no question
Oh,
that I
Alexa.
agree with you. I think that Alexa, it's for me, it's superior than Siri. But
Yeah.
Siri created the market.
Yeah, but I think Alexa is a lot better than Siri, and
Oh yes.
in some ways, Apple follows then lead, right? Take a look at the services. The movies. Apple Plus is now
Hmm.
following what Prime Video did. iCloud follows, Dropbox and Box and some of those. So they are leaders in hardware. They're leaders in certain kinds of services, but they do follow and they do analyze what people download, and they monitor the apps very closely. That's a big
Yeah, I'm sure
market
they
for
look
them.
at what people like from other devices and they try to integrate it on this. And I don't want to keep putting salt in the wound, but it looks like that picture and picture that you were saying, they're kind of bringing that over from Samsung.
All right, and before we wrap it up, why are the developers hot at Apple right now. They're mad because uh, oh, Apple came out with iOS overnight.
No, they released the iOS overnight. They had a couple of betas. I think they have 6 or 7 betas, but maybe 8. But they didn't give developers. Normally, they give developers some lead time for them to get their apps ready, so that when iOS is the release, their apps are also ready for that version. In the
Okay.
case of iOS 14, they didn't give uh, their developers a lot of time to upgrade and update their application. So now they're fumbling because they everyone's downloading iOS 14 and the apps are not ready.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it might be causing issues with the different applications that we as users use, not necessarily from Apple. And oh, I see your point. I was
And it's
thinking
and
about
it's
something.
causing a headache. It's causing headache for the developers because now the user of that application has a bad experience with the app. Maybe some functionality is not working. Maybe the icon has moved a little bit, so it
Yes.
doesn't look as right. And so they just didn't have enough time, and the developers are furious about that. They didn't like that approach.
Well, it
I
puts
don't
them
know
in
if
a tight, I mean, in a bad position because now they have to rush their applications or their developments on the applications to fix whatever bugs or issues this new
yes.
release might have caused.
Thank you guys for being here. And if anybody, what do you guys think about the Apple event? Please comment down below. And if you have any question, go to our website and ask us today how we can help your company run your applications a lot smoother. Follow us on social media: Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Vimeo. And with that being said, thank you guys. And we're going to see all of you in the next show. Take care, guys.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.